So if you guys could just keep it down for a minute, because we're having a hard time thinking here. Anyway, so we kind of picked a varied program of different things we're going to do, but I also wanted to sort of have discussion, talk about what's going to happen and stuff, or what happened, and try to explain ourselves. When you wonder why the hell they do that. Anyway, so we're going to begin this first song. And we're not sure how we're going to get into it, but we're going to just see. And this is Beatrice. Yeah, I saw the guitar players were working on this today, or this week, so I forgot. At this last minute edition. So I'm going to talk a little bit more. So I have a question for you guys. So what was different about that? It was good? Oh, so it was a surprise? No. Well, I mean, what about the time?
7.
What?
7.
Yeah, that was in 7. Yeah, it was funny because we were talking about it and we were going back and forth whether we were going to play it in 7 or 4.
We played it in 7/4.
So we played it in 7. Yeah, we did them both. Yeah. But anyway, one thing I just wanted to so especially like this tune, we had no plan, but the idea is we're playing off each other, and as took me a minute to sort of realize we're playing, and then as I got into it, I realized I can get a lot from these guys, and hopefully they're getting a lot from me too. So one thing to look for is like the sort of the conversation between the musicians, and how we're throwing ideas back and forth, and that kind of makes it fun, right? Yeah. So that's one thing you want to look for when you play with people is like listen to them and use them, let them help you, instead of trying to make everything come from yourself. Anyway, so I guess we'll play something else. So this is I'm going to play a tune called Nothing Like Wes. I'm sorry, one more thing. Why it's called Nothing Like Wes is because I was trying to write a song in the style of Wes Montgomery, and I totally failed, so then I called it Nothing Like Wes. Okay. Thank you very much. Of course, Carrie Frank on organ. And also I want to mention Carrie Frank on bass. And Joel Taylor on drums. And what does anyone have any, so we can, if anyone has any questions or anything they'd like to know, if not, I have another question. Does anyone have anything they want to ask? Or because one thing I realized, playing with Carrie, now several times. I mean, I really enjoy it, but also what I realized after a long time is that he only has two hands. And why I say that is because you always want to try to understand the situation. And a lot of times when especially in a jazz context, when you play with a piano player, they're not playing bass, so they can comp with their left hand, right, and solo. But then what I realized is actually a lot of times when you're soloing, I comp a lot more. In other words, now I'm realizing because it seems to be more helpful than it would necessarily if you're playing piano, where you're having more left hand. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I can elaborate on that.
Yeah.
So obviously for those who don't know, my left hand and my left foot is kind of splitting the bass job, and my right hand is playing chords and or improvising. So unlike a piano player where there would be a bass player, so my left hand would be playing chords and right hand soloing, where Brad or any guitar player would normally either stay out of the way or just have to share the harmonic role with the piano player. So in this context, the organ trio, organ, guitar, drum trio, it works really well because guitar gets to play chords while I'm soloing. That's the OGD sound, organ, guitar, drums.
Yeah, the point I'm making is so for a lot of years I didn't really play with organ players hardly at all, and so I didn't realize that until actually playing with you a couple times. I thought, wait a minute, there's something going on here, because no one ever said that to me anyway. And you never said anything, but at a certain point I'm realizing, because I'm laying out and I'm going, wait a minute, maybe he wants chords behind it.
There's nothing to complain about.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Well, anyway, anyone have anything they'd like to ask or? Yes.
So how do you know where the structure is going to use it? Do you have it set out already before you start playing?
I'm sorry, say it a little louder.
How do you follow the structure of the music? Like, do you improvise the structure while you guys are playing together? How do you know which chords you're going to, like 1, 5, 4?
How do I know what
structure or it's a form?
The structure of what you're playing.
Oh, the structure. Okay, so like the last, both songs we did have a form. Like the first song we started, we just kind of did a free form thing and then we evolved into it.
But how do you communicate where you're going to go? Without knowing
Well, it's just sort of, it's just listening and kind of, it feels like a conversation, like when people are talking to you. Oh, well, maybe I should
be here now that I'm talking. What was I saying? So it's kind of like a conversation. So I'll play something, Carrie will play something, or Joel will play something, and we're sort of playing off each other, and that'll sort of inform what possibilities might happen. But once we got, like for instance, this last tune was a blues, is a minor blues. So and there is a set progression, but at the same time, we're not playing at the same time, the same way every time. I mean, the bars are the same length, but we're maybe playing different voicings or more or less, you know, because we're trying to create something that, for one thing, big thing with me with improvised music is or jazz type stuff is you don't want it to be all the same, like a punk song or something. You want to be, you know, or K-pop or something. You want it to be all the same the whole way through, right? But this we want peaks and valleys. So we're trying to add dynamics. Sometimes play more, sometimes play less, and then also taking ideas from, you know, if you listen carefully, sometimes someone will do something and you hear someone else answer it in their solo or in their comping. And then also at the same time, I'm also just trying not to get in their way. Also, I'm trying to do the same as well. So not trying to overplay and not trying to play something that clashes, but like at one point, you know, at one song we started going up like chromatically, and it was just not really in the song, but it just sort of seemed to make sense.
But we're still sticking to a form.
Yeah, and we're still going to come back. You know. So a couple bars later, or whatever, we're going to still come back to the basic. So there's a structure, there's a framework under it, but we're trying to get away from that as much as possible without screwing it up and getting lost. Does that sort of answer the question?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, well, I'll say, you know, to me, my favorite thing about playing with music is playing with other people and interacting and improvising and just seeing what happens, because the idea is like if we a different day or if a different players, it might, you know, not be better or worse, but just different, you know, and I think that's what's cool about it. Like I'm not playing any set licks or anything other than melodies and stuff, and neither are these guys. You know, and you know, and we didn't even have a plan how we were going to do that last tune. Like we didn't know if we were going to do the drum solo trading or so we decided to kind of do it over the riff, the basic riff.
And I thought it was going to be a lot faster.
And yeah. Normally we played the song before and I played a lot faster. I'm not sure why I did it that slow. But that was today. That was, I guess, that what felt right. It's kind of cool, right? But yeah, normally it's like almost twice that fast. Anyway, I guess we'll play some more.
Yeah, let's play that. Or should we play something more aggressive since that was good? Let's play this.
Woo!
Just a band box.
The last tune was one of my tunes. This is one of Carrie's tunes.
Woo!
Blue Dream.
Thank
so one thing I wanted to say about that is I hate to have to read a chart, but because it takes away, I can't quite interact and stuff the same way. But a chart is necessary. I mean, if I don't know the song, I'd much rather have the chart in front of me than be guessing. Right? so just as far as it's good to know how to read, and it's helpful, but I always try to memorize things as quickly as I can, because I want to get off the paper and where I can actually see if they're making dirty faces at me or something, or see what else might be happening. Anyway, let's. Now we're going to do something called Voodoo Child. It's a Jimi Hendrix song, but I have a different take on it, which is more like a sort of a West African 6/8 feel. And I'm going to play something called electric sitar on it. You haven't heard it yet, it might suck. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and so take the first solo. The second solo, initially, let's just go down to pretty much idles. And then, what?
So anyway, there's one thing I know you can say for sure, that was just the best performance on electric sitar you've heard all week. Right? Anyway, like I said, that was Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. Anyone have any questions or things you want to know, or things you can tell me and things you can help me with? Yeah.
For the Hammond, you said earlier, Carrie, about it can either be your foot for the bass or the left hand.
You hear me? There it is. Kind of with organ playing, like real Hammond organ bass playing. It's not just one or the other. It's kind of both is the sound. Just like on a jazz drum kit, like if the drummer is leaving, if the bass drum isn't feathering, even though it's such a subtle little thing, if it's not there, it's kind of missing. So with my left hand by itself, so my left hand by itself just has the pitch that I want, but it doesn't really have that thump. The foot by itself has that attack like an upright bass does, but it doesn't have the tone like the left hand does. So together, I could maybe spend a few beats on one or the other if I like just focus on my left foot so that I can do something in my left hand. Something like that. But yes, it's the combination that makes that organ sound.
You sometimes pedal in your feet and play other notes in your left hand?
Yeah, I could do that. So a big difference between organ and piano is there's no sustain pedal. So if I hold down a chord or a note, I can't leave it held down. So that's kind of where the feet pedals kind of come in handy. If I wanted to do something with left-hand bass, mostly left hand and foot combined. Any other questions?
Chris.
What's up with your guitar?
What?
What's wrong with your guitar, the other one?
What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
Why that guitar sounds so weird? The other one, you mean?
Yeah, why is it so cool?
I
Yeah,
don't
why
know.
is it so
What's
What's
that?
up with the, like, I want to ask, like, the hard part of it? Like, what is
Well,
that?
well,
tune-
yeah, well,
is
let
that
me-
equal
let me-
temperament, or like, what is it? What is it tuned to? What's the vibe? He knows what I mean.
So this is called electric sitar, and it's, tuned like a guitar, but there's this piece of wood right here, and so it makes the strings buzz. Buzzing against this piece of wood, this piece of ebony that's right there. Just like but just what's cool about it is you play stuff and it sounds different, and that's kind of one of the reasons I like to play different guitars, and switch off, because it makes me play different stuff, because I start hearing the sound and I want to go, I want to play different stuff that I wouldn't necessarily play on a normal electric guitar. And then it has these sympathetic strings that you can tune to different things.
Is that, like those little harp thingies, like, are they equal temperament, or are they like
What are you asking? Are they tuned? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking if they're like, equals 440 or like.
Oh, well, you tune them however you want, but you tune them, like there's no fret, so you tune them with these things.
Okay.
So it takes a while, and you tune them to different things. Like right now, it's more or less tuned to kind of like an E Dorian, notes in the E Dorian scale, but you can tune it to whatever you want.
Sounds so good.
So like if you're playing an F Dorian, you're kind of out of luck, for instance.
Brad, who makes the piano?
Originally they were Dan Electro made them, and they're on a lot of earlier records, like if you've ever heard "Do It Again" by Steely Dan, the solo, or this song. By Stevie Wonder, right? But this is a Jerry Jones, which is a reissue because they stopped making them a long time ago. And then Jerry Jones started making them, and now they've been reissued. But anyway, this is a Jerry Jones version.
Any other questions about anything, or?
The purpose of the pedal board is something to trip over. Anyway, I had the honor and good fortune to play with Ray Charles for a while, and anyway, so I'd like to sometimes do some of his tunes. This is a tune of his called "Unchain My Heart," and this is this would be like a soul R&B type song, and so this is a more normal one.
We'll sit on that for a minute, but once it starts, we don't do that. We never do that. Maybe.
The drummer is dying of thirst. Is there any water around here?
Thanks.
He almost passed out during the bridge of that song.
When you tell the people what this is.
This is my arrangement of kind of mix of Simon and Garfunkel's Sound of Silence with Ahmad Jamal's arrangement of Poinciana. Sound of Silence.
So I have something to say about this song. So we've never played that before. I mean, Carrie obviously has this arrangement, hopefully. But what I want to say about what I was doing is that was not too crazy. So I was trying to memorize it as it was going and try to get at least the progression. And so I don't know if you noticed, at first I was kind of glued to the chart, and then more and more I was able to look up and kind of play off the players because one thing you can do too is if you're reading something, try to memorize it while you're playing it. So I'm trying to understand more and more, and then I started kind of taking it to sort of almost a country type thing, which is not your intention, but it was cool, right? You're not mad, right? You sure? Anyway, any people, anything you want to ask about what we're doing, or? Yes.
I wanted to ask Carrie if you'd explain how you're controlling your Leslie.
Leslie?
Yeah.
So by the way, the Leslie is the speaker
Yeah.
that he's got.
Yeah, pretty simple. So this one. So this organ has what's called 3 speeds. Most common organs have 2 speed. Either the Leslie is not spinning like it is right now. Here it's just a solid tone, or it could spin fast or slow. Control when I turn it on and off, and being comfortable with the speed up and the slow down. It's all kind of part of a small part of the sound.
But it sounds kind of cool when it's changing speed.
Yeah.
So you use that part of it.
Yeah.
And the pedal controls the speed?
No. So to answer your question, there's a little lever right here. So it's either middle is it's like three levels. So middle is off, right is fast, and left is slow. Yeah. And the Leslie has 2 speakers. One at the top is treble, bass is on bottom.
Do they spin at different speeds?
Yes. Not different speeds. They spin at the same speed, but they're oscillating. So one is spinning clockwise, one's spinning counterclockwise. It's kind of supposed to shoot the sound throughout the room.
It's actually playing a guitar through a Leslie is really cool. And there's a fair amount of records from like the 60s and 70s and 80s and stuff where people, in the studio, they record guitar parts through Leslie.
Yeah. And not only that, really important actually, Leslie was across the street from this building. Don Leslie, who invented this, and his office was, what's the address of this building? Does anyone know offhand? It's like 300 Fair Oaks. I think Leslie was like 303 Fair Oaks. This one, this one doesn't have it. All it says is Pasadena, California. But I think one of my other Leslies, it says the address, and I looked at it once, and it's like right across the street. Wow. But obviously, it's not there.
Hunter.
How do you transfer all that gig to gig?
Say it one more time.
How do you, is that your organ, I'm guessing, that you bring to different gigs? How do you transfer all that? Like, how did you bring it?
How did you get it here?
Yeah.
Your roadie?
Use that to lift it up. Take the pedals out. I mean, whoever wants to stick around and watch me pack it up can see that process in reverse. But yeah, being an organ player, gotta own a minivan and know how to move this thing. It weighs about 400 pounds. I can lift it up to the stage by myself. And there's ways to just move it around without hurting yourself too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, that's one of the cool things about him. Not only is he a great player, but he's actually willing to move it, because most people are smart enough to go to not. No, I just think it's really cool. But I respect your commitment. That you're willing to move. that much gear because obviously synthesizers now have these sounds, but it's not the same, as the real thing. It's not, especially when you hear it back to back.
Yeah. Any keyboard majors here?
Woo!
It's been a while since I've talked. There's an organ in next door. Have you guys been able to play it?
No.
No? Is it still there?
It's there.
I'm the one who dropped it off over there, so it better still be there.
It's still there.
Okay.
Still playing.
You mean in the south building?
Yeah.
He means in the other, not next door here, but in this,
Yeah.
in the recording studio. But when you should go in there and turn it on and play it.
Yeah.
There's definitely times when the recording studio nothing happening. By the way, also something that people don't take advantage of is I forget, but there's several hours each week where the engineer's in there and you can sign up to go and record something. So you could just go in and like play the organ and just record something. It doesn't have to be something that's serious, just for fun, to learn.
Any other questions?
Anything else? Anyone else?
Okay. Sure. Let's do that. So this is what we do softly as Morning Sunrise, which is a jazz standard. Except Carrie thought of this weird idea to go down a half step for the last A section. Oh. Well, one of the fun things to do, and both Carrie and I like to do that, is just taking songs, like I took that Hendrix song, and turned it into a whole different thing, and Carrie turns down the silence, and is to take tunes and reimagine them. Particularly jazz tunes, it's pretty easy to try different things. And so we're going to do that. anyone have anything they want to, the stupider the question, the better. Well, anyway, I want to let's do like tune 32.5. And so this tune has a story because it's actually two tunes in one. It starts in 4/4 and then it goes to 5/8 and it goes back and forth a bunch of times. And so the origin story of this song is that I had these two songs but neither of them were finished and I wasn't really satisfied, so I figured I'd go for a walk and think, see if I could think of how to finish one of these songs. And I apologize for people who have heard this story before, but anyway, so I came home and I have a dog, and my dog had taken all the music and brought it out on the floor and like chewed it all up, and it was all like in a mess on the floor. And I was really mad at my dog for a minute, and then I'm looking at it and I'm going, wait a minute, it's kind of like in an order, like how the pages were, and certain pages were torn, there was teeth marks, but, and so I quickly, I taped it together the way the dog had laid it out on the floor, the two tunes, into one tune, and that's what became this tune.
Does he have a raging credit?
Well, I don't want to, all the money that I've made on this song, I don't really want to tell him about this, so. But what I like to say is if you like the song, I wrote it, and if you don't like it, then yeah, my dog wrote it. Thank you very much, Kerry Frank. Kerry Frank on bass. Kerry Frank on Leslie. Kerry Frank on left hand. Jill Taylor on drums. Rabuchin on guitar. And anyways, thanks so much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming out. I think that's all the notes we got. But yeah, also if you have any questions or whatever, you can talk to us now as well. We'll talk to you actually. But autographs are $10 a piece.
Oh.
Anyway, so thanks so much, and thanks to the Garage and LACM for having us. And yeah, have a good night. Thank you.